So today's chapter is biodiversity. Chapter number 12, biodiversity. Alright. So what is this biodiversity? It's a biology lesson, okay? It's a biology lesson. When we come for the living world, we know this living world is composed of living factors and non-living factors. The world we are taking, the environment we are taking. So it is made up of living factors and non-living factors, right? So living things having a life, they are called as organisms. The non-living things, they don't have a life, okay, without a life, they are the physical environment. Or in another way, we term them as biotic factors, abiotic factors. What are the two words? Biotic factors, abiotic factors, right? So in between these biotic and abiotic factors, there are interactions, relationships within the environment. Okay, so that is how an environment is formed. Now, within this, we could see different types of organisms are there. Basically, we divide them as plants, animals, microorganisms, right? So among these plants, animals, microorganisms also, different types of species are there. Different types of organisms are, right? You could see it. Like if I ask you to label some, name some organisms, how much organisms you can name? How many animals you can name? How many animals you know? Hmm? How much? 100? 200? No, sure, right? 100? First 50 faster you will go. Second 50 slower, somewhat crawling, creeping, you will reach the 100. Afterwards, you'll be thinking, no? But organisms that we are taking, plants, animals, microorganisms, millions of organisms are there. I mean, millions of species are there. Sometimes the same type of organism, but different species are there, different categories are there. Okay? So, different types of species are there in this world from the starting to the current day. Okay? So, there are. And some of the organisms have come and totally extincted. Some of the organisms are there evolved. We learned about evolution, right? Evolved into another organism. Okay, some of them are there living fossils. The same way without evolving, they are still there. So whatever, different types are there. There is a diversity among them. There is a difference. Variations are there among them. This variation is what we are going to take. Okay, so this biodiversity when we are taking, we can say it is the summation. It is the summation, the collection of three types of diversities. Okay. Look at the first page. Tell me what are the three types of diversities. Just check it out. First and the second page. Three types of diversities are there. What are they? Ecosystem diversity, species diversity, genetic diversity. What are the three diversities? Ecosystem diversity, species diversity, genetic diversity. So, when you come for this biodiversity, it is made up of ecosystem, species, and genetic. Right? These are the three types of diversities. Now, what is this ecosystem diversity? I told you, right? There are interactions between the living things and non-living things. Interactions are there. Okay, relationships are there. Now, when we take such an environment where the interactions happen between living to non-living, non-living to non-living. What are the three types? Living to living. Between us, there are interactions. Living to non-living, we are using all these non-living stuffs. So living to non-living interactions are there. Non-living to non-living also interactions are there. Okay. Table comes up with the chair, right? So the air we use, the soil we use, the walls we use, right? The board we use. Okay. So non-living to non-living also there are interactions. Non-living to non-living also there are interactions. Right? So such an environment is called an ecosystem. What system? Ecosystem. Now, different types of ecosystems are there. Class is an ecosystem. Institute is an ecosystem. Do you have the same ecosystem at home? No, it's totally different. It's a house. It's a domestic place. Okay, that ecosystem is different. When you go for a beach, is it the same ecosystem? No, it's totally different, right? When you go for a river environment, okay, or else let's say an oceanic view, the middle of the ocean, it's different, right? The sky, right? A forest, a lagoon, it's different, isn't it? So ecosystem to ecosystem, there are differences, right? Environment to environment, there are variations. This variation among the environments, among the ecosystem, it is what we term as home ecosystem diversity. Okay. So now within this ecosystem, in between the ecosystem, there are clear differences and a scenic view when you are taking. Okay. At once we will discuss and then we will write. Okay. You can see some examples are there. You can have a look on YouTube. So a forest, a mangrove environment, a grassland, a beach. Differences are there by color, by the scenic view, by the components. That's different. So this is ecosystem diversity. And next comes the species diversity. What is the species diversity? Now, the species diversity will be taken. In an ecosystem, there are different types of species. Not the same species is there. Different types of organisms are there. Plants, animals, microorganisms, different types of organisms are there. So, among these organisms also there are differences, right? Right? Among the organisms also there are differences. Okay. So, when you come for a forest, different types of animals are there. Are they all same? Are they all same? No. They do have differences. By different physical properties, they are different. They have variations. By color, shape, size, okay? By the mode of nutrition, mode of locomotion, so everything different. Different. So this difference is called what? Species diversity. Species diversity. In between the species, in between the types of organisms, there is a difference. Alright? So different types of organisms are given on your tube, you can see, right? Starting from bacteria to the advanced organisms, right? So all of them are different. Different. And then we come genetic. Genetic diversity means within one species. Now you see the chain we come. We start with the big area and then we came for species only. Between the species, now within the species. For whom we all belong to? Whom we all belong to? What is the species we belong to? My God, you don't know that? Homo sapiens. What is the word? Homo sapiens. Repeat it. Homo sapiens. Homo sapiens also we say. Okay. Homo sapiens. Sapiens we say it's special. So repeat the word Homo what? Sapiens. Homo sapiens, right? So we belong to Homo sapiens. Now within us also there are differences, right? Are we all same by face expression? No, right? It's different, isn't it? There are differences. Okay. Our hairstyle means not the combing style. The nature of the hair, different. Different. Some of them are having straight hair. Some of them are having curled hair. Some are having wavy hair. Okay. Some have no hair also. No hair. Is it? So no hair at all. So this is also difference, right? Difference. And some, when you come for the ears, these ears are free. Free means you can't take it out, right? It's not portable or something. Now this area is there, the earlobe, okay, it's free. Some other is attached. Is it because of a glue gum or something pasted? Origin. By nature, they were having this. Then why we are having them? Is it cut when we won't? No. Natural. So some of them will be having fused earlobes. Some of them are having free earlobes. These are differences. So these types of, there are some more differences. These types of differences between the same type of organisms among the individuals. Among the individuals. This is called genetic diversity. What diversity it is? Genetic diversity. So is that clear about the three diversities? What are the three diversities? Ecosystem diversity. Okay, and then species diversity, then genetic diversity. So the collection of all these diversities, it is what we term as biodiversity. Biodiversity. Do you understand that? Okay. So recall what we learned now. Recall. Just review within yourself what we learned now. What we just learned. Review. Okay. So shall I fill up the note? Biodiversity, let's write there. The combination, the combination of, the combination of ecosystem diversity, combination of ecosystem diversity, species diversity, combination of ecosystem diversity, species diversity, and genetic diversity, and genetic diversity is called biodiversity. Genetic diversity is called biodiversity. So ecosystem diversity, let's write there. Ecosystem diversity. The variation, the variations, the variations or differences or differences, the variations or differences between the ecosystems, between the ecosystems, variations or differences between the ecosystems is called ecosystem diversity. Called ecosystem diversity. Right? So when you come for this ecosystem diversity, I told you there are differences between the organisms, not only the organisms. You see here, the animals and plants are different, right? Now, different types of animals are there in the forest, right? What are the animals? What are the animals? Buffalo, dog, cat. Can you find that? That's usually domestic, right? Okay. So, wild birds are there. Lions, tigers, elephants. Those stuffs will be there in the forest. Bears, no? So, monkeys. Those stuffs will be there. But when you come for the house, do you have all those things? No. You are getting squawked, it's a different story, no? Monkey, donkey, buffalo. Now, all those words will be coming on when you are speaking to each other, right? Apart from that, you can't find them in a domestic area. But different types of birds are there domestically. Domestically means not inside the house, surrounding the garden and all you can find. Okay? So, is that the same thing when you come for a beach? No, it's totally different. Not at all. Some of the birds, some of small organisms you can see, right? So, you see, they're different. They're different. Also, the climatic factors are different. What is the climate you have in a river and environment closer to a river will not be the same when you go for a beach, right? It's totally different. The wind speed different. The what you call the sunlight, the brightness of the light intensity, okay, temperature. These are different, right? Humidity, amount of water in the environment, it's different. When you go for a hill country, it's totally different. So you see, environment to environment, the physical factors, whatever the physical things you can find, and the biologically, whatever the living things you can find, and whatever the chemical, the climatic factors are there, all these are different. All these are different. You understand the point? Okay? Right. So that is a given, all the physical environment and climatic factors are different. So next we write species diversity. The differences between the differences between the differences between the species in an ecosystem species in an ecosystem. The differences between the species in an ecosystem is called species diversity. Species diversity. Species diversity. Okay. Now you can see different types of species are there by their size. Even the same birds when you take birds to birds, they are different by the body size, body shape, body color, how they eat, how they consume food, what they are depending on, how they move on. So all these are different. Different. Okay. And the next one, genetic diversity. Just right there. The differences. The differences between the individuals. The differences between the individuals of the same species. Differences between the individuals of the same species. Differences between the individuals of the same species. Okay. Fine. Now there are some differences between them. Have a look over there. Have a look. Quickly refer to them. Refer to them quickly. Hurry up, hurry up. Okay. So you can see some examples here, right? Now, genetic diversity, that is the diversity among the individuals, right? Each and every person, every organism within the same species. Like among us, the differences. So this is called genetic diversity. So this is because of the genes genetically being passed from parents to their kids, it will be transmitted, right? So some of the examples are there here. What are the examples? You can see. Now sometimes, when you are comparing your hair, I told you, okay? The nature of the hair, not the hairstyle may be changing, right? So the nature of the hair, okay? Some of your hair becomes, straight, like straight hairs are there. Some are curly, some are wavy, right? So between the males and females also the differences are there. So this is a genetical diversity. Now, is it a problem? So can we argue like I'm having straight, it is not straight in yours, it is curl, so it is a problem in your hair? Is that so? No, it's natural. It's natural. But sometimes these also there because of like a current shock, all these are straight. No spikes are there. So that is not natural, okay? That is not natural, that's artificial. No? Huh? Artificial. Why? Because it is because of a style. Okay, style. Now I told you this also earlier. Some of the people they don't have hair. Some you can see, okay. Some when they are growing old, you could see. We see what is madhalis. What do you mean by that? Right? Completely surrounding, they have hair. But in the center, they don't have. It's totally bald. Alright? So that is actually nature, naturally. They don't make a style like that, right? But the opposite is happening now. What is the opposite? What a kiss. Madhavitra kiss. Huh? What do you mean? So only in the center you have hair. It's completely out. You are showing. That's a style. That is not natural. First one is natural. No? What egg is mother is natural. It is a genetic diversity. Second one is not a genetic diversity, it is a generation diversity. Isn't it? Correct? It's a generation diversity, right? Okay, fine. So is it accordingly, genetic diversities could be commonly seen. That's not a problem, right? And next one. Some they are having brown eyes, the eyes when you take the lens, eyes. It's brown. Some of them are having black, right? Mostly brown, you can see. Some are having different colors also there. That's because of the eye lens you are changing. Earlier days it was there. This is to be done only for the people, those who are having the eye issues, right? For the vision. But now today the fashion was there. Isn't it? So cat-like eyes. No? Cat eyes to form up. Diamond eyes. So different shapes, different patterns, eye lenses they are there. But they have to be very careful about that, right? Right. So genetically transmitted. Genetic diversity. And the next one, you can see here. It's like a person can roll the tongue, another person cannot roll the tongue. Did you try rolling your tongue? Roll it, please. Right. Some you can roll the tongue. Some how much you try, your head would be rolling, the tongue won't be rolling. Correct? So rolling the tongue is also an ability genetically transmitted. Go home and check out with your father and mother. Okay? Definitely they also can do it. Okay. So is it rolling the tongue? Some they are having different ways to roll. Some up and down they make on, some horizontally they make, double tongue they show. Okay. So it is a rolling ability. Some physically they roll up their words, right? That is not a genetic. No? They don't keep their word. They don't keep their own. They change. That's the different story. Okay. Right. And earlobes. Earlobes. If it is a free earlobe, okay, and some are there, it's fused. So both of them are not fused. Mostly we can see free. Okay, and then fused. And is it because of a glue gum or something? No, naturally. So is this because of being a cut? No, it's also natural. Natural. Okay, so these are some examples for genetic diversities. And also, some other examples are there here. Left-handed, right-handed. Some they can write left using the left hand, some they can write using the right hand. Some they can't write using both the hands. No? So that is not genetical, isn't it? That is because of you don't educate yourself. You don't learn to write. Correct? Okay. So left-handed or right-handed. So some are there, they can use both the hands. Their level is bit different. Okay. And what is this? Chubby cheek, dimple cheek, no? Right? So some are there, they have dimple cheek, like a small depression. Very cute to see, no? Small depression, right? A small depression is there, right? It's depressed. It is called dimple cheeks. Some are there, it's normal cheek. They don't have that. You know, when the babies are being born, you could see some people to make it dimple, they keep on pressing it. Babies. Is it a clay or something? No, press like. It won't happen like. Okay. So genetically. Genetically. And then take your hand, right hand, just stretch your right thumb. Some you could see the right thumb would be curved. Okay. Some it's straight. Some are straight. You don't want to press like. Okay. So is it a problem? No. Is it a problem? No. Some are having a straight thumb, some are having a curved thumb. That's normal. That's genetically transmitted. So just because of one person is having the straight, the other one what it does is doing breaking the bone. You can't do that, right? Huh? It has to be. It has to be. So some are there because of some gnostic movements are the gymnastic. Huh? For those terms, circuses and all, they change their body structure. Okay, that's normal for them, not normal for the ordinary people, isn't it? Okay, you can't be doing that, right? And take both your hands again, just again make it combined, merge, fall on one another. Now you can see some of you people will be having the left thumb up, right? Some of them will be having right thumb up. So is it a problem? You can do both the things willingly, but just when you stretch it on, when you're folding around, you can see one finger only always come up. Maybe it's the left, maybe it's the right. Go home, ask your father, mother, do the same. You can see most probably the same thing. Sometimes both of them would be doing the same. Sometimes only one person would be doing the same. And that particular person, maybe the father or mother, that particular person gene is what responsible for what you did. Okay. So you see, accordingly, the left thumb up, right thumb up, and fold your hands like just do it as usual, as usual, as usual. How you do, you just make it. Some you can see, okay, the right hand moves king. It comes up, or the left arm. Correct? Correct? No, don't change it. Don't change it. It's not a problem. Okay, don't change it. Some you can see, it goes like this. No, it's not normal for me. So the left come over the right arm. Some they do like this. Correct? Some both the hands, okay, both are going down. Some other like this also. Okay. So that's different. That's different. So that's not a problem also. So which is not usual for you, don't try to change it. For certain events and all you are doing, that's a different story. Natural things would be natural. Okay. So these are some examples when we speak under genetic diversity. So go home. Okay. First check out with yourself, standing in front of the mirror, and check out with your father and mother. So it is 100%. You are a kid of them. No? Got it? So that is how genetically we confirm. Okay, fine. Let's move to the next part. In case if it doesn't match, don't fight with them, okay? Some used to say, no, I took you from the beach, I took you from your, Kunubal, they say. So that becomes true then, okay? Where did your mother pick you from? Fine. Okay. So what is the importance of this biodiversity? What is importance? Now you see there are differences between the organisms, between the species, between the individuals, there are differences. Because of these differences only, the living world have become that much fabulous, amazing. Why? There are differences. Different types of organisms are there. Just imagine only one organism is there, or only 10 organisms are there throughout the world. Only 10 types of animals are there. Do we need a botanical? Do we need a zoological garden? A zoo? No. Do we need certain areas which bring the natural beauty by the organisms and all? No. And would it be balanced actually? No. They would kill each other and they will also die. Why? They need food, right? They need food. So they have to depend on someone else. So depending on plants, depending on animals, or depending on both, different things are there. But what if there are out of 10, 5 of them are depending on animals? Definitely they have to depend on the other 5 animals, right? Isn't it? Then what happens? It would be unbalanced. They will kill those 5 types of organisms for them to live. Once all those 5 types of organisms are totally vanished, they will kill each other to survive. And there will also be king. So it is unbalanced. So you see, to reduce the competition of the survival for food, for shelter, okay, for living partners, for the protection, for reproduction. So all these competitions to be reduced, there are differences. Okay. And between the plants, animals, both we can see. Plus, to increase the natural scenic beauty, to balance the environment. Okay. So different types of nature, sceneries are there. As I told you, ecosystem to ecosystem, that's totally different. And you can relax, you can make your mind relax looking at this nature, isn't it? No? So this is why you are going on trips, right? No? Just to have fun. So why? Actually, because you are changing your environment, you are getting into a different environment with the nature. Correct? Willingly or non-willingly, you do that. Okay. So you may be saying for fun, for entertainment, yeah, you are going up. Why? Because the nature changes, right? From a busy life, you are changing into a different, relaxing, calm style, living style for a certain number of days. So you change yourself with the nature, you become, relax yourself. So this is also given by nature, natural stuff. That's because of the differences. So you are going out of your home for a trip. They are also the same things. Then will you be going again? So same environment is there also. No changes between the environments. Then what is the use of it? You wonder. So this is also brought for the education, for the leisure time. So all these physical things we obtain, this mentally also we are getting relaxed out of the stressed mind because of this nature gives us differences. Right? So it's accordingly. When you come for our country, we are a rich country with organisms by biodiversity. This is one reason why the natural attraction is there towards the tourism. The tourists are getting attracted. Every year, thousands of people reach the country, approach the country to have these things observed. Okay. Only the scenic views when you are taking marvelous. And also, when you come for the aquatic environments, like the falls, the waterfalls, the rivers, the streams, dams, all these are small to big, into a smaller to larger scale, different types are there. Okay, different varieties are there actually, to simply to say. So we are a country rich in biodiversity, and we are labeled in certain years. We have been labeled in that way globally, right? Let's read them. Look at the first point. The beauty of the environment increases due to biodiversity. Rich biodiversity is a strong reason for tourist attraction. Okay, read with me. Do you know Sri Lanka has been named as the country with the highest density of flowering plants, flower-producing plants, and reptiles, amphibians, and mammals in the Asian region. And biodiversity has reduced the competition between the species. Competition has been reduced. We don't say there is no competition, but the competition has been reduced now. It is balanced, right? So organisms are always in a competition for their needs. Some examples you can see here. Now these plants that we are taking, those plants need water and air. Where do they get water? Some they are having the idea like some of them they do have the concept idea. They water the plants, right? By watering the plants, only plants directly obtain that water, they say. Is that the way? No. You are cooling the plant during the sunny days and all, basically, and also in the morning, you used to apply water. But that water goes to the ground, right? The soil, right? From the soil, where the water is added over, from that soil, the roots are what absorbing water. Roots are what absorbing water. Otherwise, it is not opening up the mouth in order to take the water that you are watering. No, not like that. No. So it's obtaining water, absorbing water from the soil. Right? So this water absorbed is what used for photosynthesis. Now, plants to plants, small to larger scale plants, they need different amount of water. Okay, so you can see here. First case, it's a smaller plant, a taller plant. Let me take. It's having a long root system, so it can go deeper down to obtain water. And this plant, like Jack present, the banyan present already, it's having a wider root system. Okay. Now, for it to survive, it doesn't occupy the space only here to obtain water, but it move randomly here and there, wide, and it makes the soil strong on. So it has a larger area to absorb water from. What if these types of plants are also there here? They won't have a problem. Why? They don't take water only from this area. They go deep down. Correct? So they go deep down. This space also having water. No. Below this area where the larger trees are obtaining water from, they don't go roots down, right? They don't take the roots down. So, but here also what is there? When such plants come over there here, they can go down deeper and they can absorb water. So there is a competition between. But if another plant is there closer who is supposed to take water only from this region, that plant can't take it. Why? This is a larger tree, will be absorbing more water. So the smaller plant which is supposed to take only within this region, when within that soil layer, it will be having a problem to absorb water. So there's a competition. Okay. So this is why naturally plants to plants, they do have different root systems, different the different region or different areas they are spread out. Maybe straightly down or in a wider range. So accordingly they absorb water. Okay. And also the length, the height is different, and the leaf styles are different in order to absorb more water, more light. So accordingly, the compressions have been reduced because of their differences. Why? Between the species, plants when we are taking roots are different, leaves are different, flowers are different, all of them are different. Right? So because of this, right? And then the animals when we are taking, just imagine some of the birds when you are taking, they are herbivores. Some of them are hunts, some of them are mammals. So they do have different beaks originated according to they are adapted according to their mode of nutrition. So they eat different stuffs. Some organisms are there, they have to go down below the water level. So is that okay if they are having a small beak like this? No. Very small, even smaller than this. Even smaller than this. It's hard. Okay. So some of them are there. They are depending on animals. So then their beak should be different. They don't have teeth, the beak. Then the beak should be different. Okay, the eagles when you are taking, they have different stuffs. The eagle's beak is not as same as the parrot, right? It's different. That is depending on basically the plants, the fruits. Correct? So you see, there are differences. Okay. So these differences are also given in order to reduce the competition among them. And also, it's possible, let's read the third one. It's possible to use the genetic materials in a favorable manner in agriculture. The wild types of most plants and animals used in agriculture are found in natural ecosystems. Genes that are resistant to pests, adverse environmental conditions, and illnesses are available in these wild types. So different types of organisms are there, and we identify their specific features. So we can use them accordingly, economically, and to complete our works, and also as for illnesses, for the diseases, as a recovery cure for diseases we are using, right? So wild types of plants and animals have been identified. They have been used in industries, the agricultural pathways, the natural ecosystem they are obtained from directly. So is in a favorable way as to support these agricultural fields they have been used, right? And some of the herbs and all we are using in medical aspects, okay, for medicines, right? So some of them we are using in order to flavor our food, isn't it? So different ways we can use. Some of them are used for certain industries, okay? And also biodiversity helps to protect the water resources and soil to maintain favorable climatic conditions and minimize environmental pollution. Because of the biodiversity among them, the differences between, they help to maintain the natural beauty, okay, reduce the environmental pollution, and climatic conditions are maintained at favorable rates. So this is also done because of biodiversity. Then it comes Biodiversity is very important for entertainment, various research work, educational stuff. We spoke about that, right? Due to biodiversity, some species are endemic to certain regions. Now, countries to countries, states to state, they do have their own organisms living, which cannot be found in some other places. Like what we also have. So these are called the endemic species. Endemic species. So underline, species that can be seen only in one geographical region or country are known as endemic species. Some of the examples are given there, you can see. What are the examples given? Blue magpie, jungle fern, relava, bandula petia. Nice names are there. Ashoka petia, green pit viper. So these are few examples which are endemic for our country, which are endemic, can be seen only in our country. So what is the advantage of this? So to see now the people, those who are nature lovers are there, animal lovers are there. So those people, especially they would be visiting to observe these organisms in our country, isn't it? And also when we can grow them far, when we can grow them well, industrially, when we can grow them, okay, we can export them as well, isn't it? Why? Other countries, they don't have them, right? So they will buy. They will purchase. Why not keep at least in the botanical, zoological gardens? Botanical gardens for the plants, zoological for the animals. So that others, they can see, to aware about the living organisms. Got it? So accordingly, these are endemic species. So these are the importances of having biodiversity. Biodiversity. Fine. Next is about the threats to biodiversity. Okay. Take a 2 minute break and then we'll continue. Okay. It's hard to continuously, right? Just 2 minutes break and then we'll continue. Did you have time? No, no. How is it there? Following the right. What is the next topic? Threats to biodiversity. What are the threats to biodiversity now? Threats means towards the biodiversity, towards these organisms, the living world. What sort of problems are there? Issues are there? What are the threats for their survival? Okay. So these threats we can divide into two. Okay. Natural and man-made, artificial. So some natural threats are also there. Natural reasons are also there which cause the organisms to, end up their lives. Right. So what are the natural reasons? Can you see? From the ancient time, biodiversity has been affected by the impact of various natural activities, like the wildfires when we are taking. Okay. So wildfires, if it happens, okay, it is a threat for the organisms, right? Organisms. And you see, it is considered as a meteor collapse has raised. Now, the image given here it is related to dinosaurs. Okay, dinosaurs. So naturally, when you are taking the dinosaurs have been collapsed according to science, according to the history, that's collapsed because of that. They have been extincted because of a what do you call a meteorite rain. Heavy rain was there continuously. Large amount of meteorites have been fallen on millions of years back. So it's totally vanished. Totally vanished. So natural reason. And the mammoths when we are taking, they have been vanished because of what? Glaciers have been, the ice mountains have been moved. They melt because of that. That's because of the global temperature goes up. Okay, globally it's warming. So these are natural reasons. And today when we are taking, as I told you earlier, wildfires. Not the man set wildfire, naturally occurring wildfires. Okay, natural disasters. Maybe causing the organisms to die. Okay, basically wildfires. Why? Organisms are trapped inside. So recently it happened in several countries. Okay, so these are some examples under natural reasons. So let's write there other natural reasons. What are the other natural reasons? Now you see climatic changes happen. Like I told you one example, right? Okay, and weather conditions are also changing, right? Weather conditions are also changing because the weather conditions change also happens. Geographically, some changes happen. Let's say because there are some the earthquake happens within the area. So usually the rise and all it won't happen. So if it happens, but then the organisms will be totally damaged. So these changes may even off, right? So take the page number. Do you have a textbook? Have you got the textbooks? Not everyone has. Okay, let's write that. Other natural reasons. Right now, other natural reasons. Volcanic eruptions. Volcanic eruptions. Volcanoes are happening, right? Volcanic eruptions. Right? Volcanic eruptions. Tsunami. Now recently there have been a tsunami, right? 2 days left. Where was it? Huh? Japan. No? Japan, right? Huh? From Russia, as the Russian. From Russia and the center the oceanic level because of a strong earthquake happened. Okay, it has affected both Russia and yeah. Okay, some countries closer to that, right? About 13 feet of waves have been passed on. Okay, so but since it was already earlier found out, now order now the people they know it's a problem. Because earlier, years back when it was happening, the people were not aware about it. They were trying to see what's happening. When the monster will come on, they could see that is a last, there's a last wave that they are having. No? Okay. So otherwise they were not aware, and now the people are aware. So they are safeguard themselves. So we can reduce the rate over right. Right, next one, tsunami. T tsunami we say three side. Tsunami, earth slides, earth slides, floods, tsunami, earth slides, landslides, and it is happening also. Organisms cannot be safeguarding themselves, right? Saving themselves, right? Right, yeah. Earth slides, floods, floods, wildfires or forest fires, wildfires or forest fires, and the next one. Wildfires. One by one down, you can write. Okay, right? How much you wrote now? Five. Five you wrote. Okay, that's enough. One movie, right? Melting of glaciers. Melting of glaciers. Right. Now, these are the natural reasons. Okay, what are the man-made reasons, human activities? Now, actually, for all these reasons, basically the natural reasons, most of them are caused because of global warming. Globally, temperature increase. Man is one reason, one cause to increase this global warming. Why? Because of the stuff we are using. The industries, the machineries, the vehicles that we are using now, most of these polluted gases are being released to the environment, which may lead towards increase of temperature around the globe. So, global warming. Global warming means, guys, globally temperature increase. Around the globe, around the earth, the atmospheric temperature increase. Okay. So, this keeps continuously increasing. That becomes a problem where we have to suffer back again. Right. So, this global warming is directly caused by different reasons. One reason is the man's activities. Okay. And also, you see, what are the human activities given? Read there, read with me. The rapid increase in human population poses many environmental issues. What are they? Rapid deforestation destroys the habitats of living organisms. When we increase the population, we need living habitats. So what we do? Already existing, houses, we can't do anything. Then what we do? Within the same area, we are making apartments. Fine. That is why the apartments are building up, constructed. So once it is constructed, within a short while, it is also occupied. Why? That much of demand is there. Okay. And also, listen, once if this space is not sufficient, now what we do? We go to the forest. We clear out the forest. Step by step by step, we are extending our land. So their land, where the organisms live, it is reduced. Okay. So this is destruction of forest. And then what we do? We shout at the elephants when they are coming out. Actually, they are not coming out. They are the real path of them. We cross that and we remove, cleared out all, and we have built up our, domestic or industrial, agricultural areas, fields. So as a routine, they used to cross, and then now we are saying they are crossing our land. Actually, we cross their land. Okay. So anyhow, you see, their living habitats go down. They are being destructive. Please read the next one. Construction of various buildings, streets, reservoirs splits the habitats of living organisms. Now, some sort of areas are there when you are moving from some country, countrysides, like when you are going into the hill countries or even some areas like Andhra, the Purbalanda and all. How about it is there? Either side it's a forest. Actually, is that the way the forest have been grown? How come it's possible? One side forest and then the road, again the other side forest. No, it was totally a forest. What we did, we split because we had to make a path. We split it. In between the forest, we split it and we made the road. We built up the streets. Okay? And then we are saying elephants are present. Somewhat for our needs we have to do, but we have to maintain them. So they used to cross as usual when the forest was there. but it has been, years back only this happened. This happened mean the construction of roads between the harbor and maybe hundreds of years, sometimes tens of years. Okay. So anyhow, you see, we had to do that because we have a demand. We had to move from one place to another. We have to reduce the transportation system. Otherwise, if that road was not there, what happens if we didn't have that straight road? Then we have to make a big curved road, right? Then our transport cost and all will be increased, and the environmental pollution will be also increased, right? So accordingly, see, we had to do that, and we had to build up the apartments sometimes within the forest, and also to make the dams and all. Do we make in Colombo? No. Do we make in a domestic city, commercial city? No. We go for a certain area where there are no man living. Okay. But organisms are there. We clear them off and we extend that land to we build up these dams and all. Okay. So this is how we are capturing those areas. Right. And then overuse of resources and addition of pollutants to the environment cause soil, aquatic, and air ecosystem to get so polluted. Now, overusage of natural resources leads towards overpollution. We are polluting the environment, the air, water, land. This returns us the same effect. Means we are getting the disadvantage. Not only us, other organisms. So we are polluting the land, we are polluting water basically. So the industrial levels, all wastage of water being released to the rivers. And especially those, anyhow, these industries are there close to those areas, right? And that polluted water is also released towards the places where the animals are living. Those animals they drink, they die. Okay. Or sometimes they can't drink, so they die. So this happens. Okay. So polluting the environment is also a problem caused by man. And then spreading invasive organisms in ecosystem. Now what we do? One organism to be one ecosystem to another ecosystem, we are transferring the organisms. Like imagine we're gonna take an alligator or we're gonna take a monitor or something else. We are going to transfer it into a small aquatic body. Whatever. It kills all the small organisms. Now it becomes an invasive organism. Invasive organism. So these invasive organisms may be transferring from one ecosystem to the other naturally also. Now, reason it was introduced. So usually alligators won't be there in the sea. They are there in the river, like inland, whatever it is. But recently it was found in some seas, some oceanic, some sea levels. Okay, in our coastal areas also, alligators were found, crocodiles were found. How? Maybe naturally in this. Naturally they have trans. They can't live in that, but they are getting adapted. So just imagine now, one or two found and they somewhat tried to adapt there. Then what happened? Their generation wise when it comes on, they will be also living in that sea. They adapt. They adapt themselves. Okay. Now, you see, you have been born for parents who are living in Colombo. If a person is being born, the parents might be in Colombo, but they are shifted to somewhere else. In a rural area, let's say, where the features and all these are like totally down. So they have moved there and they got a kid there. Now the kid being grown up within that environment, he or she doesn't know about Colombo. Now she thinks that is the environment, she adapts for that. When she come here, it becomes totally different. But she was belonging here, isn't it? So you see, it's because of the adaptation. Because of what you see. Yeah. Okay. So anyhow, and the next one, the introduction of genetically modified new organisms into the environment cause adverse impact on biodiversity. So genetically modified organisms, you are genetically transferring the organisms from features. So now these organisms sometimes add natural beauty, sometimes become harm, totally harmful. Why we are combining the genes and all, we are giving the genetical transfer for a new organism. So this new organism form might be sometimes harmful. Now, lions plus right. I used to share some sort of videos and oh, you can see them. Again, lion plus right. I have shared these earlier. Ligers are there. Have you heard of liger? Tiger. This is liger. Lion plus tiger. Lion plus tiger means what is that? Lion plus tiger. They haven't reproduced right. What is it? Genetically, we take the genes of lion and genes of tigers and we merge together and we let those to come out from these organisms. Then what happened? Now, genetically added a new organism from these ligers are having both the features of lions and tigers. But naturally, they can't be produced. Naturally, they can't be produced. Why? Man-made, man has to involve in order to give rise to this. Okay, but it's a production that the raw materials are nature. We can't create the stuff. Okay, we can't create the organism. Already existing things, when they are starting, we are just adding the genetic parts. Okay, so now the ligers naturally within them they can't reproduce, so they can't grow out. They can't increase their what you call the generations. They can't expand their extend their generation because they are living. They are living. Okay, so that disadvantage is there. And in this way, when we are producing, when we are making, generating some organisms like that, sometimes it might be harmful. It might be harmful. Some viral infections were there, viral attack was there, number of years back. Okay. So there were different reasons to it. One of the reasons is maybe they were researching about these viruses, a different virus they have created because of genetic transmission, genetic merging. So what is produced, what is given out, generated out, became a very dangerous one. Sometimes, like the movies and all, they show you different researchers they do. Suddenly, some changes happen because of the merging, and it results in a different organism. Then becomes a monster. Then becomes a zombie. No, different sort of things are shown in the movies. So this is because of the changes happen within the merging of DNAs, merging of genetic stuff. So that might be resulted in harmful stuff. You understand that? Okay, right. And the next one, climatic changes due to environmental problems such as ozone layer depletion, global warming. Global warming is spoke about, and ozone layer, we don't have a layer around the earth. We term it as what layer? Ozone layer. What is the layer? Ozone layer. So this ozone layer, when it is getting depleted, when it is getting damaged, okay, that also becomes important. Why? This is for protecting from what rays? Ultraviolet rays, UV rays. UV rays are not entering or it is reduced entering because of this ozone layer. So ozone layer, when it is damaged, then ultraviolet straight away can come into the Earth's atmosphere, which may pose different problems within plants and animals, including us. Okay. So then how is it damaging? Because of global warming. When we keep increasing the global warming, then ozone layer get depleted. So these are the man-made reasons, man-caused reasons. And then comes hotspots. Hotspots underline the regions of higher density of living organisms. The regions of higher density of living organisms. So some regions have been found with more species of organisms. These are called hotspots. Now these hotspots are usually protected, it's preserved areas, conserved areas. To be considered as a biodiversity hotspot, a country or region should be rich with high proportion of indigenous species and species with more threats. Now, if a region, if a state to be considered as a hotspot, that should be having indigenous species and species with more threats for their life. Okay, that means the species keep reducing by amount and they have threats for their survival. Such species are there in a certain country or a state, then it is named as a hotspot. Hotspot. As Sri Lanka belongs to a hotspot region, it's our duty to contribute for conservation of these organisms. So Sri Lanka is also named as a hotspot, having different types of organisms and different types of organisms which are labeled as having threats for their survival. So we are also considered as a hotspot. Clear the point? So a lot of theories are there in this lesson. Okay, a lot of theories are there, all theoretical parts. I try to explain everything so you can have the clear idea about the lesson. Okay, so next it comes with ecosystem features. So what are the features of ecosystem? Now I told you ecosystem, there is a system where the interactions are there between the living to living, living to non-living, non-living to non-living. So such an ecosystem when you take, small to big, different scales are there. Even a pond you take, it is an ecosystem. Why within a pond, organisms are there, living things are there. And the non-living, what is non-living? They need water to survive, right? So living to non-living interaction is there. And within water, air is there. Sometimes soil will be there down. Okay. So living to non-living water interactions there. A pond, a forest decaying, log when it is decaying, and a coral reef environment, a grassland, all. Right? So you see, only the physical environment, only trees, only organisms, animals, all merged together, it becomes an ecosystem. It becomes an ecosystem. What are the features of this ecosystem? Number one, interaction occurs between living to non-living, non-living to non-living. That's the first one. Second one, the energy flows always through one-way stream. Plants, from the plants, for a herbivorous or a omnivorous organism. One organism depends on. Let's say grass, grasshoppers. Grasshoppers are depending on grass. Grass will not be depending on grasshoppers. Have you seen grasshoppers? They consume grass. Grass consumes grasshoppers. Have you heard? So only one way. Grass, grasshoppers. And on the grasshoppers, what are there? Frogs. No? Frogs can be. And on the frogs, what are there? Snakes. Have you seen frogs eating snakes? No, right? So only one way the energy transfers. Only one way. But you know, when you come for the man, it's totally different. Man eats everything. Even the snake, even the frog, even the what? Grasshoppers. And at the time, grasses also eat. That's the only thing we don't eat now, isn't it? Grass usually we don't eat now. So, but at the very beginning, we might have, you know, with evolution, only these were change, right? So now the evolution goes until the snake we eat. And we, in the sense, common that same things. No? Chinese, Japanese, Hong Kong, you know, when you are going on. Like we are having the eat streets here. No? Eat streets are there, street food are there. Likewise, they do have street foods. Like the shells are there, just you have to open. Go to bed. The snails. Snakes are there like the noodles. The worms are there like the noodles. We are eating noodles, they are eating the worms. Okay, fine. So you see, so we eat everything in that way. So energy passes only in one way, right? And the next one, recycling of materials. So whatever is being formed from the earth go back to earth, including us. Okay, including us. So we have been created out of clay. We have been created out of clay. Religion wise, you know that. We have been created out of clay. Clay does have different components, and recent studies have. You know, so in Islam, it says that we have been created out of clay. And recently, some studies scientifically they have proved that until then it was not believed. Okay, you say man, somewhat, you know, because of certain evolution, so and so we have done. Now it is found that, but it is not yet officially given out, expanded with stuff. It is found that man's components, when we are researching down, we could see it has clay. It has clay. The components of clay is present, and the clay contains a lot of components which are important for our body. And this clay is what letting us to be flexible. Clay means not the clay you are playing with, okay? Meaning the soil, the clay. Okay. So pure clay. Fine. Anyhow, so accordingly, we come out of earth, okay, and we go back to earth. All the organisms are the trees also we are taking. They are growing from the earth, okay, and they are being dead and they are getting added to the earth. All their raw materials should be taken back to the earth. So it is a recycling process, natural recycling, okay, and then an independent unit. Every ecosystem when we are taking it has constant interaction between them, so they are constant and they do have a stable ecosystem as far as we don't unbalance. So it has ensured the existence in past. So every ecosystem does have their own, you know, nature, features and all, so we have to let them stay as. When we are trying to unbalance, the reflection is also towards us. So accordingly, 5 features of ecosystems you have learned. So this comes in questions. They ask you what are the features of ecosystems, right? So living relationships. So what is this living relationship? Let's write there. The interactions between the living organisms. The interactions between the living organisms in an ecosystem. Okay. Now, between the living stuff, there are interactions. This is called the living relationships. This happens because of some needs, right? The needs they are food. Interaction between the living organisms. That's enough. Oh, you're right. The interaction between the living organisms in an ecosystem are called living relationships. Are called living relationships. Living relationships. Examples: they fulfill some required factors. What are they? Food, security, reproduction. Right there. Food, security, reproduction. Security means to secure themselves, to get a protection, to live a protective life. Food security or protection, right? Security or protection and reproduction. So reproduce in order to multiply their species. What are the examples? You see, animals consuming plants as food. So living to living interaction so that they reproduce other organisms. Other organisms mean their generation, the same offsprings are given, same species offsprings are given. Animals consuming plants. So animals depending on plants. Both of them are living. Both of them are living. Some plants are also there depending on animals. Some plants mean some sort of flowers are there. They attract insects and they digest the insects. Okay. And some predators consuming other animals. Some animals are there, consume other animals. Consume other animals. Certain microorganisms depending on other living organisms. Some microorganisms are there. Okay, they survive on other organisms and they obtain nutrition from them. Okay, some insects are there, some worms are there within our body also, inside the body also, within our digestive system. They obtain the nutrition from our body and they are there and they do a work. Some are there. Worms in the sense, not the long tape worms, flatworms, something that if they are there, that becomes some sort of microorganisms are there. Some sort of microorganisms are there living. Okay, but we can't see. Some are there over our hand also, we can't see. Okay, just imagine if we can see. Always we have to keep looking on. We can't survive. So we can't see. They are there, they are doing the work. They are not harmful. Okay, but if harmful stuffs are coming only, they will be posing towards diseases, right? Some verbs and actually will replace the word with microorganisms. Microorganisms are there. Okay. And some animals use trees as their habitat. Some animals are using, they used to make their habitats, the nests and all in and out of the trees, right? Okay. And some plants use animals to spread their species. Some plants are there, so from the flowers, the nectaries and all being taken away, right? Butterflies, the flies, okay, they use they call the animals as pollinating agents. Some plants fulfill their nitrogenous requirement from insects. Insectivorous plants, I told you, they obtain they are attracting the insects and they intake the insects and kill them, digest them, and producing new creatures through reproduction. So by reproduction, they are giving out new offsprings. Living to non-living, let's try there. The interactions between the interactions between living and non-living, living and non-living components. Living and non-living components in an ecosystem. Living and non-living components in an ecosystem. So what are the requirements here right there? Water, air, light. So to obtain water, air and light, they are interacting with non-living things. In fact, water, air, light, non-living light. Light is actually an energy source. So examples is it plants, they need oxygen for respiration. Okay, they need oxygen for respiration. Animals, all the organisms also need oxygen for respiration. Oxygen. So we take oxygen from air and we release carbon dioxide to air. So that's an interaction between living and non-living. Plants, they need carbon dioxide for photosynthesis. Where do they need carbon dioxide from? From air. So they take carbon dioxide for photosynthesis and they release oxygen as a result of photosynthesis. That is also between plants and air, living and non-living. Living and non-living. Plants obtain water from soil for photosynthesis. Okay, so that is also living to non-living. Living to non-living. So you see, plants obtain solar energy photosynthesis. So sunlight energy, light energy they are obtaining for photosynthesis. That is also living to non-living. Plants absorbing water from soil. Please read. Plants and animals use atmospheric oxygen for respiration and they use atmospheric carbon dioxide for photosynthesis in the plants. Plants release to the atmosphere as a result of photosynthesis. What do they release? Oxygen gas. And we are releasing carbon dioxide, including plants, all the organisms, to the air as a result of respiration. Adaptation. What is adaptation? when we are living in such a world, sometimes the environmental factors, we have to change our states. Some organisms. Usually other organisms are there. They usually change their body structures. Okay. So their color, some are there, they change their color for protection. Okay. Some they change their body structure. So we change. This is called adaptation. This is called adaptation. So see there, the living creatures are, please read, the living creatures are also adjusted to match the specific environmental conditions of their habitat. According to their living habitat, they used to change their structure, the characteristics. So this is called to adaptation. Underline that. Example, adaptation of plants to minimize transpiration in dry environment. So in a dry environment, they can't release more water. Transpiration means releasing water in the form of water vapor. Releasing water in the form of water vapor, that is called transpiration. So already you are in a dry environment, you are having lack of water. Is it okay to continuously release out water? No. You are having an empty tank. Oh, it is reducing the tank. Water reduces in the tank. You keep wasting water. Would it be fine? No. So that such plants have to reduce transpiration, reduce releasing of water. So to minimize this, they are showing some adaptation. They are showing some adaptations. Okay. So like they will be having fleshy leaves. They would fall down with the leaves. Leaves would be falling down. Dry leaves will be there. Okay, those dry leaves will be falling down. So accordingly, they will be having some sort of adaptations to minimize transpiration. Non-living to non-living, right there. The interactions between the interactions between the non-living components, non-living, the non-living components in an ecosystem. The interaction between the non-living components in an ecosystem. Do you are saying? Non-living components in an ecosystem. What are they? Soil erosion by water. Because of water, excess of water, soil is eroded. Okay. And rock weathering due to water and solar heat. Because of the heat increasing and the the wetness is increasing, the moisture is increasing over the rocks and all, they get digested, they are breaking into parts. Okay. So that's advantages, disadvantages both. Because naturally they are breaking one, we can use them. Disadvantage over lands, let's say earth cliff. So it's happening, if earth slides will be there. Landslides will be there, that may be dangerous. That may be dangerous. Okay. So this also happens as a living or non-living to non-living interaction. So these are the examples which comes under all these ecosystems form. Okay. So the first part of the lesson we are done with. First part of the lesson we are done. Second part goes up with types of ecosystems. So that we are taking in the next class. Types of ecosystem when we come, we are dividing them into natural and man-made. So please remember the whole part. Please read complete and come. If I'm telling you, read it completely and come. Okay, then it will be easy for you because new words, new ecosystems are there, you have to learn. So refer to them and come. Okay, we're ending up with that today.